And here we are once again, Scott Harris, documenting my comic collection for insurance purposes, just proving that I own all the comics that I'm telling my insurance company I own. And here we are, the second video of my Captain America collection. We're going to show Captain America's numbers 100 through 150 here. Last video was Tales of Suspense 58 to 99. We're going to stop at 150 on Captain America. I do have a full run of Captain America volume, 2 or 1, however you want to look at it, up through issue 454. I have some of the subsequent series. I have all the Brubaker issues and a lot of crossover annuals, all that stuff. But honestly, most of that stuff's not really worth that much. So we're just going to go up to 150 and stop there for the purpose of this. Here's my copy number 100. It's a nice mid-grade copy. It's probably a 5.5 or a 6. It's solid. There's nothing wrong with it. Could use a cleaning and a pressing, I'm sure, if I had all the time and resources in the world, but I'm happy with it. I have no idea what I paid for that. I've had it for a long time. Here's my copy of 101. There's some cool covers here. I think the covers and the design of these really takes off with 100. The covers during the Tales of Suspense run in the 70s, 80s, and 90s are all pretty boring. It's not till the last couple of the 90s where they become interesting again, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. But these just look much better. Kirby art on all of them. These issues here, 101, 102, 103, 104, I got these all at the same time from the same store, and they were clearly all from the same collection as well. They all have the same flaw in them, which is creasing right up here. The cover, whoever read it when they got it, folded it over right there, so they all have a crease right down here. So they're not high grade, but they are nice, solid, mid grades. They're probably all 4.5s. Nice looking books, very solid, tight, good colors and everything. Just someone mistreated them a little bit. This one doesn't have as much creasing on it. It does still have some. It's a white cover. It's faded a little bit. It's hard to get those. These are in the era when Red Skull had this absolutely goofy crew of helpers. There's a bit of a higher grade book. I do have, unlike my Tales of Suspense collection where I only have a couple high grades, luckily the key issues, I do have quite a few more Captain Americas that are in much nicer shape. Starting here with number 105, yellow cover, and it's got Batroc the Leaper, so I'm a big fan of his. Always like this cover quite a bit. It actually reminds me, from a composition standpoint, quite a lot of Daredevil 43, which has a Captain America crossover. It's just Cap is people reversed in it basically, but very, very similar. This one issue has huge numbers on the logo there, which I like. I always like the big numbers. 107. All these issues are great. These very early Captain America issues. This is a Dr. Faustus issue. Excellent evocative cover by Kirby. Here's another higher grade issue, 108. Now we get into some of the real juice here. 109, The Origin of Captain America Retold. Really cool cover, busting through the newsprint. I have a nice copy. It's not really high grade. It's maybe a 6, but it looks beautiful. It could be pressed up higher, I think. Got a lot of non-color breaking wrinkles. Absolutely great cover, even though it has the Hulk on it, who I can't stand. But the only person who draws the Hulk in a way that makes me want to read about him is Steranko, which is good because he did this cover here. Have a nice high-grade copy. Could use a press. The main problem with it is the spine got crunched like someone dropped it. Or might have gotten... actually, I think it got bent when it was on a rack. Some kid, flipping through the top, rifling through them, bent it right here at the spine on the 110. 111, on the other hand, beautiful copy. Is a little tan, which is very common for this issue, what with the all-white cover. just a little bit. There's a couple of small creases on the back cover. Had a few people take a look at this for grade. Technically it's an 8.0. It looks much nicer, but since the damage is on the back, the front looks like a 9 or maybe higher. Just a beautiful comic. Here's 112. Kind of gets left out in the cold a little bit with 109, 110, 111, 113 all being classics, but it's still a cool cover, It's not nearly as cool as this cover. Maybe my favorite Captain America cover. Another Steranko issue. I did meet Steranko, and for some reason I did not have him sign this comic. I don't know what I was thinking. In retrospect, I wish I had. I did have him sign some other things, but none of these. We'll go with some more high grade stuff. John Romita. Now, he's got a long history with Captain America. Did the Captain America revival in the mid-50s. I wish I had those, but at the present time, I don't. Back in the late 80s, those were like key books I wanted to get. Captain America 76, 77, and 78. But as a kid, I just did not have the money to do it. At the time, they were running about $100. Now, those same copies would probably cost me $1,000. What are you going to do? Here's 116. Gene Colan art. My copy is signed right here by Gene Colan. Has a cool Avengers crossover. As a big Avengers fan, I try to have people sign Avengers-related books when I'm getting autographs. Here's my 117. It's not really high grade, even though I put it in the Mylar, but it is autographed to me. You can see here to Scott, Gene Colan. Met him in the late 90s. Really nice guy, and obviously one of the great comic artists of all time. Second appearance of the Falcon. And here's the end of this storyline. We're on Skull Island. It seems like don't vacation on Skull Island. It's like if they just changed the name of the island, they could probably do a lot better with the tourism. I don't know, it just seems like a bad idea. Here we are, crack up on campus. This begins a new era of Stan trying to make Captain America relevant. Get the late 60s here, counterculture. Captain America was viewed as being very square. There's a lot of anti-government movement among, the college kids that made up Marvel's, main fan base. So Stan was trying to sort of shake things up. Captain America ends up, you'll see here in a couple issues, gets a motorcycle and he does his own Easy Rider thing, driving around the country, trying to get in touch with America to see, what's going on. And what's going on is that mainly people don't give a flying crap about Captain America. Don't really remember much else about these stories, to be honest. I'm not sure there's much else to remember about them. They're not Stan's best work. Let's just put it that way. Nice yellow cover. It's always a bonus. But, he's fighting a villain called the Diabolical Diamond Head. So, really? There's a nice higher grade issue. Yeah, like I just warned you, here's Captain America on a motorcycle. Now, he does have a long history of riding motorcycles. There's some great World War II covers where he's riding an Indian and, killing Nazis. So it's not like this is a new thing, but this is definitely trying to take advantage of the buzz of Easy Rider. You see the motorcycle gang down here at the bottom, not quite as menacing as a troop of Nazis, in my personal opinion. Just me. Yeah, again, here he is on his trip. Some sort of rally, and then who cares? Not Captain America's greatest era here. Kind of like this cover. Even though it has the Hulk on it, it's just something about the composition and the use of colors. Plus, it has Batroc. I know I'm probably the only person in the world that likes Batroc more than the Incredible Hulk, but Someone's got to be sane in this group. Here's 131, a nice higher grade copy. Yeah, there's a storyline pretending that Bucky's back. He's not. Of course, later he would be brought back by Brubaker. $133. It's got the origin of MODOK. Now you notice down here at the bottom it says co-starring the Falcon. As I said, Captain America was kind of struggling a little bit sales-wise. They were trying different things to keep it relevant. And one of the ways they hit on was to make Falcon a co-star beginning with the next issue, 134. Captain America and the Falcon. And they never actually changed the title officially, inside the book. Still just says Captain America, which is unfortunate because I do think Falcon should get more credit here. Starting with 134, the series remained Captain America and the Falcon all the way up until around issue 220. I forget exactly when. It was a long time, almost 100 issues, probably about 85 issues. So, I mean, the Falcon was a major character at the time, and he did help make Captain America, more relevant than he had been. Okay, I don't remember anything about these stories, though. There's kind of a minor key, mainly just because it has Spider-Man. It has a cool cover with Spider-Man sort of looming on the horizon, as Spider-Man so frequently does. Let's continue in this issue. Don't like this cover quite as much. It's just kind of busy and cluttered. Spider-Man kicking everyone's ass. Always like this cover, 139. It's an interesting story. Captain America at the time, his secret identity, he had become a police officer. So he's trying to decide whether to stay a police officer or not. I do have 140 here, but I can't seem to find it. I might have to edit that part out, but whatever. Here's 140. It's in the grip of the gargoyle. Well, it's the gray gargoyle, I guess. You just call him the gargoyle. His friends just call him Garg. It's a little informal for my tastes, but whatever. Kind of a cool cover. A little confusing. This looks like is mountainside opening up with all the guns. It looks like some sort of G.I. Joe playset from the mid-'80s. This is one you've been waiting for, the unbelievable ending. Yes, I think after like 5 issues of The Great Gargoyle, people were definitely waiting for this one. So here's 143. This is the 10th anniversary of Marvel issue, November 1971, hence the 25-cent giant size. Introduction of the frame box, and in this case, the introduction of a